Hello and welcome to the compilation of Lady Saber's Sir Sam. In this volume, there's the first 4 stories from Lady Saber, so I hope you enjoyed this compilation. Without further ado, let's get started. This story is about when I met Sir Sam. Now let's introduce the characters. Player number 1 is me, Lady Saber. I'm 16 at the time. I'm Finnish. I grew up in Belgium. I'm here in America on a 2-year exchange program. At this time, I'm still pretty new to the country, so I'm going through a culture shock. I'm heavy into fencing. It's been my sport for something like 10 years. For Neckbeards, it seems to make the katana-wielding milady as part of their dreams. Player number 2 is Smooth Cheek Neckbeard. We'll call him Samuel Tarley, just because they've got to be twins. Fat as all get out, wears cargo shorts and a bazinga shirt, sandals, and yes, the fedora. He also smells like sweat and old spaghetti sauce, and he has a really high-pitched nasally voice that sounds like a whiny toddler. Player 3 is John. He shares half of my courses and is really good at chess. He has a southern accent that I can listen to all day. I met Samuel at chess club. I'm pretty aware that it's a Neckbeard spawn point by now, but I go because I like to play. There are some good apples though, like John, so when I was there I'd mostly just talk with him. Today, however, he's running late, and he gets upstaged by Samuel. I'm setting up the board, and the seat across from me is empty, so Samuel asks to play. I try to politely turn him down, telling him that I was waiting for someone. Sam replies with, "Well, I don't see him." I grind my teeth a little at this. Samuel plops into the chair. He introduces himself with the tip of the fedora. I wish I was kidding. I was not aware of the Neckbeard stereotype at this point, otherwise I probably would have lost it right there. I play with Samuel though, rather than excuse myself. It quickly becomes clear that he's not familiar with the most special rules of chess. He accuses me of cheating on more than one occasion. First when I make an en passant capture, then when I castle queenside. He also tries to castle out of check. It's profoundly annoying. Not because of what he's doing, I'm perfectly willing to teach new players the rules, but because he's certain that he's right about it. He reminds me a lot of Michael Scott from The Office, just generally throwing fits and whining like a child when he's wrong, except more annoying and cringy. Samuel is trying to make conversation with me, I'm not really sure what about, because I cannot stand to listen to his voice. He's swearing like a sailor, I guess to try to sound edgy. With his voice, he just sounds like another kid on Xbox Live. I'm not able to tune out the food, however. In the middle of our game, he breaks out this all-you-can-eat buffet of pasta, ravioli, and God knows what else, all packaged in a Tupperware container. Thanks, Mom. My food etiquette, it is probably a little uptight compared to most Americans, but this was just obscene. He's shoveling it in mid-sentence, chewing and smacking, with his mouth wide open, spilling stuff all over himself. The food itself smells like death. In his face hole wasn't making things better. Meat sauce residue, it moves from spoon to his face, to fingers, and to chess pieces at an alarming speed. We get closer and closer to the end of the game, and Samuel takes longer and longer to move, even when he only has one possible move. Enter John. Finally, he sees me playing with Samuel, and he looks a little hurt that he's been upstaged, but he's content just to watch. I can tell John is put off by the smell too. John and I start a small side conversation, and Samuel is eyeing us back and forth. Then Samuel said, "Is he your boyfriend?" Awkward. This is only going to go 2 ways. Yes, we're dating, and you're a third wheel, or we are not dating, and awkward. John and I laugh nervously, and we tell him no. Then chivalry ensues. "Why don't you have a boyfriend?" "Well, I haven't been here very long." "Oh, okay. Well, when you do, make sure to watch out for all the a-holes and d-bags at school. They don't know how to really treat a lady." For the record, I was already well acquainted with the nice guy mentality. Call it morbid curiosity, but I decided to press the topic with Samuel. "What do you mean?" "Well, lots of guys, unlike myself, just like to treat women like objects. Most women have never been treated like a woman by a good guy." I am not exaggerating this quote by an inch. It's forever etched in my memory, like spaghetti stains on white pants. John is standing to the side and slightly behind Samuel. He's cocking his head a bit, and he's giving me, "Is this guy for real?" eyes. I can see the train coming down the tracks, so I try to change the subject, but my good gentle sir cannot neglect to impose upon my lady with his philosophies. "Most girls don't realize how beautiful they really are,
especially without makeup. So they degrade themselves to get attention of guys who don't deserve them anyway. Like, I bet you don't wear so much makeup. You could get a boyfriend like that.
3 tries later, he snaps his fingers. I went from cringe to rage pretty quickly, and I ended up making a stupid mistake, and the game ended in a stalemate, which he treated like a world champion victory. There's not quite enough time left in lunch to play another game with John, but too much time to leave early. I politely decline a handshake with Samuel and I stand up to talk to John. Samuel, sensing that he needed to be in our conversation, hauls himself from his seat. There's really only a narrow lane between the chess table and the computers. 2 people can stand face to face, but 3 people of normal girth would have trouble. Talk about an elephant in the room. Samuel sidles up next to me, mouth breathing and sweating, injecting himself into our conversation like a bad batch of heroin. I don't quite remember how, but fencing comes up. Samuel's eyes go big.
Wow, you fence? Like with swords? That's so cool. Where do you go to fence at?
I get this question a lot more than you think. Most people don't really know much about the sport in the US, so this is a pretty harmless way to stimulate conversation about it. I don't think much of it, and eventually gave him the contact information for the gym I go to. I doubted that he'd ever get past Googling it, and at most, maybe give it to somebody else. My coaches here are really fantastic people, so I try to promote them as much as possible. Holy ravioli, I was in for a shock. Fencing practice is coming up next. Hello, gentle sirs and miladies. This is the second installment of Sir Samwell. Player number 1, me, Lady Saber, still 16, foreign exchange student, undergoing extensive culture shock therapy, very avid fencer. I've been doing it about 10 years. Player number 2 and 3, these are my fencing coaches. They're immigrants from Hungary, really fantastic people, husband and wife couple. Mr. Coach, he's a big guy with a thunderstorm of a voice. Mrs. Coach, she's petite, still yells louder than Mr. Coach. She's spooky quick, and always gives one-on-one instruction with people, even in group lessons. They're minor characters, but they rock. Player number 4 is Sir Samwell. Oh, I wish it wasn't. He's fat, sweaty mouth breather, and usually smells like death. His typical attire includes grungy, graphic tees, sandals, cargo shorts with pockets full of pasta and meat sauce. At least that's what it smells like. Either that or he bathes in it. Not sure, but it smells very pungent. Sir Sam's mother, Mrs. Sam. She's a minor character, but she shows up more often down the line, so I'll detail her. She's got curly hair, a feminine build, wears mom jeans, very warm and friendly. I guess this is a stereotypical suburban mom. This story occurs about a week after my last encounter with Sir Sam. To recap, the last time I gave him the contact information to the fencing class, I might as well gave Sauron the ring too. I want to give a bit of context first. When I'm practicing, I make zero attempt at my appearance. Makeup of any kind, mixed with sweat, it turns into an acne soup on my face, so I go without it. My hair is done up in a bun, and my boobs are squished into my sports bra. Seriously, you guys, this is very un-my-lady-like. Practice starts around 5 p.m. and it ends around 7:30 p.m. I'm there early to use the gym or go running before class, usually for 45 minutes. Today I run, making 2 circuits around the cross-country track, and make it back to the building maybe 10 minutes before class. There he is, Sir Sam, lumbering from the back seat of his minivan. And my heart lurches. He's actually wearing sneakers in lieu of the typical sandals, but without cargo shorts, a Call of Duty shirt, and fingerless gloves. I think that neckbeards always wear a minimum of neckbeard gear. Oh, and that fedora? Yes. He has a different one. It was some kind of awful reddish color. I had my suspicions that it started out as white. He might have used it as a ravioli receptacle. I'm not sure. As I make my approach back to the building, he gives me a full arm wave. He says something as I run by, but I keep going, through the double doors and to the gym area. I went to walk a lap as to cool down and to take a drink of water. I'm running a solid high of endorphins. I'm finishing my lap when Sir Sam makes a grand entrance. He tries to pull the door, then he pushes it open by thrusting his shoulder against it. He stumbles inside, panting from Lord knows what. Sir Sam is miffed.
What the hell is that for?
What do you mean?
You just ran freaking past me. You didn't even wave back. Why the heck would you invite me here if you don't even want to talk to me?
Sorry, Sam. I was just in my groove. He stays mad, and he fee-fi-fo-fums over to the water fountain. The tall one doesn't work, and the short one doesn't put out a stream, and you can only get a drink by sucking at the spout. He gives up on that one and turns to me, asking if I have any water. I still don't know what for. I contemplate letting him touch his face hole to my water bottle, likely backwash into it. I'm feeling a little intimidated by him though, so I offer him the one I drink from. It's almost empty anyway, and I think that a bottle of bleach is enough to clean it.
No way, you've already drank from that one.
I know, gross, right? Before this escalates, Mr. and Mrs. Coach come out of the office area to see who's making a fuss. Mrs. Coach introduces herself to Sir Sam and his mother, who has parked and came inside. A few other people are trickling in. We have a half a dozen regulars in advanced class, and about 10 or so who are beginners. Mrs. Coach takes Sir Sam to the back equipment room to get him a set of gear. Mrs. Sam turns to me. Are you Lady Saber? Yeah. Do you know my name? Sir Sam told me all about you. Fantastic. Oh, okay. He says that you two have gotten to be really good friends at school. I bet he did. I'm about to explain that we played one strained game of chess before Mr. Coates calls me over for warm-ups. We line up side by side for stretching. Guess who's on my right? Both classes are taught in the same room, so I resign myself to having him over near me for the rest of the evening. Stretches become a horror show. Everyone has a varying flexibility. The idea is really to untie all of your muscles and ligaments so that you can practice. For Sir Sam, it's a competition. He nearly gave himself an aneurysm reaching for his knees. Practicing lunges was even worse. I have a very long lunge. My hips drop nearly down to the floor, and my legs are fully extended. It's weird, and it has its drawbacks. But it's just my thing. Sir Sam tries this once, and he falls over. I'm pretty sure that it measured on the Richter scale. Oh, did I mention that he's still wearing the fedora? He's still wearing the fedora. Eventually, it gets too cringy even for Mr. Coach, who tells him to set it aside. This continues for a whole freaking hour. Sir Sam has pretty much given up on trying to talk to me. He's huffing and puffing, red-faced and soaking himself in sweat. I feel a little bit sorry for him, putting in all that effort not to get the lady. Footwork practice was also hard to watch. If you want to get a picture of what Sir Sam looked like, just imagine King Arthur from Monty Python doing his gallop. Got that? Okay, now imagine that King Arthur is a hippopotamus, about 3 French fries and a Diet Coke away from a heart attack. That's what it looked like. Relish that for a moment. After warm-ups, we're supposed to do drills. These are designed to improve our technique. Before though, we change into our fencing uniforms with all of the protective gear. Usually, we all change in the gym, being that no one is actually getting naked. I, however, am in no mood to have Sir Sam see me in any form of undress, so I gather up my wad of clothing and hit the lockers. When I get back, Sir Sam is still dressing himself. The snug-fitting knickers won't accommodate both of his hams and his oversized cargo shorts. I didn't want to watch, but I couldn't look away. Getting his jacket on was equally difficult. His arms
Just doesn't bend that way.
Mrs. Coach is standing right there with him, helping the good sir dress, just like a loyal squire. After all of this, he whines about having to wear the fencing gloves instead of his own fingerless wonder grips.
These are better designed for traction.
I wish I was joking. The legitimate fencing glove was unacceptable as well, being too tight and
making my hands claustrophobic.
Eventually, he sucked it up. We pair off for drilling. Sounds twisted. I'm sorry. These tend to be specific to the weapon we're using. I'm making it worse, aren't I? So, foil fencers work with foil fencers. Epi works with epi. You get the idea. The saber group is an odd number, so the 3 of us decide to rotate so that we each take a turn. Sir Sam is quite distant, being in the beginner's foil group. It's almost like I finally got my sport back to myself. Yeah, as if. The foil group is also an odd number, so Sam slinks away from them and approaches me. I'm saved by the call of switch for about 10 minutes, until I rotate out. Sir Sam is waiting for me.
Hello, Lady Saber. Has anyone ever told you that you look really good in...
He pauses here for a second, like he doesn't think this compliment through, before finishing.
That jacket?
At first, I took it as a genuine compliment until he raises his weapon. My mask isn't down, so this totally freaks me out. I think I might have yelled, and he makes a jab at my chest. It didn't connect. I brought my blade up, caught the weapon on the outside, and rotated my blade in a circle. He lets go, and his foil goes skittering across the floor and right into the wall.
Why'd you do that for?
Sam yells, squeaks. He goes quickly from scared to angry. Mr. Coach comes over asking what happened.
Lady Saber just knocked the sword out of my hand for no freaking reason.
Mr. Coach turns to me.
I'm sorry, he made an extension at me, and my mask was up. I just reacted.
Mr. Coach gives Sam a glare.
I didn't mean to. I was just playing.
I have the urge to offer cheese with that wine. Mr. Coach is pretty mad, tells Sam to pick up his weapon, and he solders away and avoids me, finally, for the rest of the practice. I got to finish the last 45 minutes in peace. I almost forgot he was there, until I peeled off my sweaty, drenched uniform. My face is flushed, my legs are sore, and I smell like a wet dog. Everything's going great. Cue Sir Sam. Comes over behind me while I'm wiggling out of my knickers.
Do you need some help with those, miss?
I turn around to see what the whitest knight doth require, and he looks like he's been out in a rainstorm. His shirt is drenched. His thick cargo shorts are soaked in sweat. His hair, under his fedora, looks like a used mop. He smells like a festering corpse with his stench. I held my breath while I pulled my knickers off, in the least sexual way possible. I leave on my high fencing socks. I was not bending down, or getting down to my knee in front of him to remove them. Spaghetti breath is still panting. I pack my stuff into my bag and I stand up to go, praying that my ride will be outside. Sir Sam stands in front of me and says,
I'll take that for you.
Indicating my wheeled carry bag.
It's okay, I got it, Sam.
Please, I insist.
He grabs the handle with his sausage fingers. I let him take the handle, just wanting to be out of there. We're both waiting for the other to go. I walk with him trailing behind me, and I make a quick glance in the mirror. Sure enough, this Corpsosaurus Rex is staring straight at my butt without a care in the world. Also, my top is halfway translucent from sweat. Awesome. My ride isn't outside yet. Even though I'm 16, I can't get my license and drive in America for liability reasons, so I have to wait for my host family to pick me up. Sir Sam's mother is here though, but he doesn't leave. I tell him thanks for carrying my stuff, and he offers to wait with me.
I want to make sure that you get home safe.
It is pitch dark out, but Mr. and Mrs. Coach aren't leaving until last. Mrs. Sam pulls up next to us and rolls her window down.
Time to go, Sir Sam. Hi, Lady Saber.
I'll be a minute, Mom. I just want to make sure Lady Saber gets home safe.
Mrs. Sam gives a chuckle, and she pulls into a parking place further down the lot. No, please, come back. I want to be safe, remember? Out of the blue, Sir Sam says,
Mom can be such a witch.
Whoa, what? Why do you say that?
Because she's always doing stupid crap like that. Getting up in my business.
Tearing down your mom. A+ way to converse with my lady. He leans back, and with ninja stealth, he slides his hand along the concrete behind me. I turn my head and glance, letting him know that I see.
These high socks are killing me right now.
Great. Now I'm satisfying my gentle sir's kinks. My ride was about 15 minutes late, but it felt like many hours. I finally see the headlights. I get up to grab my bag on the other side of Sam. Then I realize he has no intention of handing it to me. Instead, he expects me to bend over and pick it up. I either had to bend at my waist or squat to lift with my knees. He's just looking at me with an innocent smile.
Can you give me the handle to my bag?
I carried it all the way out here for you, Lady Saber. Don't be so lazy.
I am absolutely not going to put on a lap dance for this great white whale. His smirk is getting wider as my ride is pulling up through the roundabout. Finally, I have a witty comeback. I hook my foot under the handle and I give it a little kick upwards into my hand. I flash a smile and I strut my stuff to the car. What? Oh, you thought I was done? Cute. Wait till fencing part 2. It gets worse. Player number 1, Lady Saber. I was 16 at the time, foreign exchange student here for a 2-year program, undergoing cultural shock and suffering chronic cringe pain from the daily interaction with Sam. Player 2 is Sam Spaghetti Breath, the ravioli and the fettuccine, lord of the sandal socks, protector of the ladies. Complete lard, wears cargo shorts, Minecraft hoodie, New Balance sneakers, and an Argyle fedora. He reeks like the garbage disposal at an Italian restaurant. Now here's a supporting character. 3. John, previously identified as a cute boy, slightly taller than Sam, and he and I share a lot of common interest, or at least interested in each other's interest. We're not dating yet, but it's heading in that direction. He and his family are from Louisiana, and he speaks passable French with a funny accent, which I make fun of often. AskFred.net is an online registration system used to sign up for fencing tournaments. It's a great tool to see who's going to the tournament and how many fencers will attend. This story takes place the Sunday after Sam's first fencing class at a local tournament. It's a rather large event with a great mix of fencers. Many coaches regularly send email updates to our group with the upcoming tournaments, and Sam was on this list. After a few days of school and a minor cringy run-in with Sam, I'm looking forward to a Sunday of competing for the first time in a long time. It's the first time in America. The Saber event is this afternoon, Foil is in the morning, and Epi is in between. I registered on Ask Fred a few days prior. John has expressed his interest in my fencing, so he tagged along to watch this tournament. It's about an hour drive, so we sit in the back seat and we talk crap about our classes. Both he and my host mother don't know much about fencing tournaments, so I'm sharing my knowledge on the subject. Regarding my appearance, I'm almost a polar opposite of how I present myself in practice. I do my hair in loose pigtails, apply eyeliner and blush, generally get dolled up. The makeup I use deals really well with sweat, but it's expensive, so only wear it to tournaments. The purpose here is to look innocent and harmless. It throws off the competition, and I look great in the medal photos. We arrive right on time, as Epi is finishing up and awarding medals. The last competitors are stumbling out, sweaty and gross, grinning like idiots on their victory rush. This tournament is being held in a dusty downstairs dojo. Pretty upscale as far as tournaments go. It smells like fermenting sweat, and vaguely like marinara sauce. I sign in at the registration desk before descending. There he is. Chivalrous Sam is perching atop the bleachers, staring into my soul right across the room. His fedora is covering his massive dried sweat and grease that might have once been hair. Sam hails me with a full arm wave and a tip of the fedora, like he can't quite decide which one will win milady's heart. He gets to his feet and jog gallops down the bleachers, meeting me halfway. John, who had been walking behind me, draws up to my left.
Hi, Lady Saber. You look ravishing today.
I'm about to say thanks and move on, but John cuts in.
Yeah, she does.
In a warm tone of voice, he lays a hand on my elbow. It turns into a Mexican standoff, while these two rooster people suck in their breath and puff their chest out. I shoulder my way past Sam with John beside me. I set my stuff down against the wall, and I'll warm up with stretches. John sits on the bleachers next to me, and we talk about Sam. I'm not sure if Sam is here to fence, or if he's just staying there another 3 hours to watch me fence. I think he just saw me sign up and he just dropped in. Both prospects are equally discomforting. Sam is still standing in the middle of the room, trying to contain his anger because his chivalry was slighted by some D-bag. His nightly intuition must have indicated that I needed saving from this unchivalrous John, because that's when he joins in our conversation.
Are you here to fence today?
No, I came for aromatherapy.
Oh, hi, Sam. Yeah, I'm going to do Saber in a bit.
Cool beans. You look good today. Are you wearing makeup?
Here we go.
Yeah.
Indeed. That's a pity. You shouldn't need to. I think natural beauty is the best way to go.
I smile awkwardly and nod, trying to work my way out of my own head. That way I can perform today. Sam opens his mouth to say something when John cuts him short.
Sam, Lady Saber is trying to warm up.
John, Lady Saber and I are trying to conversate. Can you please not butt into our conversations? Please?
John shakes his head and looks away. I finish my stretch routine, still a long way from my groove, and I dress into my uniform, while Sam sizes me up. He's making my skin crawl. In most fencing tournaments, there are 2 rounds of competition. The first, called pools. You fence everyone in your pool to get a feeling of how everyone is fencing that day. All the bouts are about 5 points. The pools are distributed so that the players, with the lettered rank are evenly split among the lower ranked and unmarked fencers. After pools, everyone is seeded into a bracket for direct elimination. These bouts are about 15 points. The losers are knocked out and the winners advance. Since I never played in the tournament before, I had a low ranking. My first opponent I take out without him even landing a hit. Sir Sam is up in the bleachers, and he's cheering me louder than he realizes. It's more obnoxious than enthusiastic, and really cringe-worthy, cause he's pretty much the only person cheering. He yells encouragements the whole time like,
"Get him, Lady Saber!"
and
"Yeah, that's my girl!"
The pattern is the same for the next 4 bouts. It's almost as helpful as a back pocket on a shirt. Finally, the pools are finished. There is some downtime between pools and direct eliminations, while the referees turn the score sheets and everyone is seated. Sir Sam takes his chance to woo my lady. He approaches me looking overly excited, with his fedora in one hand and waving it like a slimy, wriggling fish.
"You fence really well, Lady Saber."
Thanks, Sam.
You know, I noticed that John wasn't cheering for you at all. You probably didn't see, but I was the whole time.
That's because I told him not to, because it's annoying, especially when you're competing.
Yeah, I heard. It's usually better if you don't make so much noise. It can be really distracting on the strip.
Sam looks dejected for the moment, before getting visibly mad.
I was just trying to help. You don't have to be so rude about it because I was just distracting you. I don't have to stay at this tournament all day just for you, Lady Saber. I'm just being nice.
I wish I had a pocket full of cookies to give him, for him being such a nice guy. After enduring this tirade of supreme kindness, it's time for direct eliminations. I'm seated well, so my first few matches are easy. Sir Sam, of course, takes his seat behind me, and he moves seats between bouts, after crossing the room to be constantly sitting behind me, and he cheers with all the gusto of a squealing piglet. I never quite find a rhythm, and I lose the final bout, taking a silver medal and earning a rank of E. Sir Sam is totally thrilled. I don't think he's ever felt more responsible for someone else's victory than in this moment. He shambles toward me going for a hug, which I turn into a handshake, quickly reconsider, and then turn to a fist bump. He shakes his fist vigorously. Keep in mind that I am standing for a medal photo with the other 3 medalists, while all their friends, families, and coaches are taking pictures. The results is a photobomb of Hiroshima proportions, which I would post here in a heartbeat if it didn't involve revealing both our faces. Sam realizes that he made a no-no when he turns to see a flanks of camera phones waiting for his swift exodus. He tries to play it off, removing his fedora in a sweeping bow like, "Hey, I'm a medalist too. Haha, look, I'm with a medal winner in the picture. So funny." He has a cartoonish nervous smile pasted on, which is quickly wiped away as the crowd starts to jeer him out of the shot. He tries to walk away with his pride. He keeps his distance while I remove my uniform and pack up to leave. As I head for the door though, I am intercepted by Sam, much in the way that an actual SAM might intercept a jumbo jet full of orphans.
"Lady Saber, can I ask you a favor?"
Can I refuse?
What is it, Sam?
"Well, I need a ride home."
What do you mean? Isn't your mom coming to pick you up?
Or are you tired of having her get up into your business?
Well, she dropped me off, but I didn't know what time to have her pick me up, so I was just hoping you could give me a ride.
Ah, very clever, Sam. A very clever ploy indeed. Only a master strategist like yourself could conjure up such a flawless plan to spend time with my lady.
Sorry, Sam, but my car only has room for John and I to sit.
Well, how am I supposed to get home then?
I don't know, Sam, but I can't really help you.
Okay, fine. Guess I'm not deserving of a simple ride home.
What?
Sam, I just told you, there's not enough room in...
Whatever, Lady Saber. Can I just use your phone to call my mom?
I gave him my phone and he makes an exasperated call home. I'm listening to the one-sided dialogue and it sounds like he told his mom in advance that I'd be taking him home. He hangs up and he gives me my phone back with an addition of sweat crust, and he stalks off without another word. John and my host mother and I pile into the car and make our drive home. But don't worry, that is not the last time I've seen or heard of him. Well, on to another adventure with Sir Sam the Chivalrous. Let's introduce the characters. Player 1, me, Lady Saber, 16, foreign exchange student, going through some stress about midterm exams before Christmas break. Also, I'm a very light sleeper. Player number 2, Sir Sam the Chivalrous. All around Beatus beard. Smells like putrid pasta sauce, because he probably bathes in it. While I have no in-person contact with Sir Sam in this story, I imagine that he wears all of his fedoras at once, while using his phone to boost his chivalry level. This story spans most of the exam week, beginning the night of Sam's first fencing tournament, and ending the following Thursday. It's Saturday night. I've gotten home from my tournament, showered, had dinner, and gotten into bed. I feel good, finally able to relish in my victory in peace. I fell asleep quickly, around 11 o'clock or so. As mentioned above, I'm a light sleeper. I often wake up at bumps and noises at night, or even loud noises in my dream. Staring around for 15 seconds, I go right back to sleep. Tonight, I woke up to a buzzing on my phone. There was a new text from an unknown number. It's probably spam, so I go back to sleep. Later, more buzzing. Same number. I unlock my phone, squint like an Asian in the Caribbean against the brightness, and fumble to the new text.
Hi, what's up? Can't sleep. How are you?
It's 12:30 a.m. What the heck? I take the bait and I respond.
What is it? Seriously? It's like 1 a.m.
Well, hello to you too, Lady Saber. Can't believe you don't know who this is, though.
Tell me who this is or I'm blocking this number.
Okay, chill. It's Sam.
That's all the answer I need. I switch my phone off and I try to go back to sleep again, before getting back up to respond with,
How did you get this number?
Oh, well, I called my mom this afternoon. I accidentally called myself first, so I had your number on my phone and I decided to text you.
Smiley face. Dude.
Sam, I have a midterm in world history tomorrow. I need to sleep.
That's cool. I'm studying anatomy.
Winky face. Why do I even try? I turn my phone off and go back to sleep. Yet, like I was in some well-timed nightmare, my phone goes off again shortly thereafter. I try to ignore it, but it keeps going. He's calling me. I silence the call. I go back to a fitful sleep until I get another call. I pick up, probably sounding like a drunk Smeagol.
Hello?
Hey, Lady Saber.
Sam?
Hi, yeah. I'm sorry. I can't sleep.
Hey, what a coincidence. Me neither. We must be soulmates or something.
Sam, I have a test tomorrow. What do you want?
Nothing. Just thought you'd like someone to talk to. Did you get home safe this afternoon?
I know someone who won't be very safe going home.
Yeah, fine. Sam, I need sleep.
I end the call and look at the clock. It's 4:30. Have to be up in like an hour. I don't dare to switch my phone to do not disturb mode, or else I'll miss the wake up alarm. The texts come trickling in. I feel like crying or screaming or just laughing hysterically. I can't go back to sleep. So I stare at the ceiling for an hour while my phone buzzes like it's on a cocaine high. I eventually drag myself out of bed, and I try in vain to cover the bags under my eyes. I do mediocre on my test, coming very close to dropping a letter grade in class. The next night, the same thing. I have a dozen new texts coming in every few hours. Some are short messages, and some are the beginning of an academic paper. I get a lot of picture messages, random funny memes, and rage comics, as well as pictures of the final score of his Call of Duty matches. They seem to pick up at night too, like he draws energy from gallons of Monster, and streaming gigabytes of Sasha Grey and Asa Akira. I am not sleeping a wink. My eating is off. I have manic burst of energy followed by hours of uselessness. On Tuesday night, I turned my phone all the way off. I slept through what would have been my alarm. My host family tries to get me out of bed. They don't know about this whole event, so I break down and spill the Cheetos. I end up sleeping a full 12 hours that day, and then another 4-hour nap that afternoon. My host mother buys me an alarm clock so that I can leave my phone off the next night. Because I missed an exam, I have to go in on Friday to do a makeup, pushing the family's vacation back one day. I'm really mad. This continues for 4 days. I think this is because he's never actually had a real milady to text, so he's gonna take this opportunity and run with it, like a Tumblr user with a new gender identity. Suddenly, those years of beard, straight white boy, and beatus all come pouring out in a slurry of carbonated cheesy meat sauce. It is a horrifyingly beautiful slow motion train wreck, which is why it takes me so long to tear myself away. I finally blocked Sam's number Wednesday afternoon. He figures this out, however, and he starts texting me from a different number. At first, he's apologetic, probably because he realized he overdid things a wee bit and is trying to backpedal. Knighthood prevails soon enough, and he starts to ask me about John.
You guys spend a lot of time together.
Yeah, we're pretty good friends.
Oh, just friends.
Yes, Sam.
So I see I'm not the only one that fell victim to the friend zone then.
I have no idea how to respond to this, so I just wait. It doesn't take long.
Indeed. Well, I really just think that John only pays attention to you because of how much makeup you wear and the way that you dress. If you really want to find someone that can respect you and treat you like a lady, you should present yourself that way, and the right guy will find you.
Dress for the relationship I want, right? Okay, have you had any Orakai proposition you, Sam?
Plus, John doesn't really dress like he has any class either.
John wears really nice jeans and muscle tees like a normal hot person. Sam speaks from experience, naturally, having as much class as a Marxist utopia. I'm pretty done hearing about how gross I am for trying to make myself look good. So I silence my phone and finally get a full night's rest. Sir Sam walks back to his last tirade in a series of pitiful messages that I can't even bring myself to quote for the cringe pain. This Friday, I show up and make up my last exam. I should have known that I couldn't make it out of this week without encountering the obese, but hold on to your nachos because it's the next story.